Ready to discover Canada's greatest hikes? We count up from 10 to the ultimate trail. For the next 10 minutes, I'm taking you on an insane adventure across the entire country to find the absolute best places to hike. We flew, we drove, we climbed, and we spent thousands of dollars just to put this list together for you. This is a 10-minute YouTube countdown. Hit pause to save any trail, because trust me, you're going to want to remember these. And my team and I have spent months researching and trekking through Canada's wilderness. We've tackled everything from easy city walks with insane views to multi-day survival challenges that pushed us to our absolute limits. We're talking coastal treks, alpine glaciers, ancient forests, and climbs that literally take you above the clouds. There is something for every single person watching this video, whether you're a beginner or a pro hiker looking for the next big challenge. But here's the deal. We're starting at number 10 and working our way up to the single greatest hike in all of Canada. The trail at number 1 is so mind-blowing, so unbelievably epic, that it will change the way you think about hiking forever. You are not going to want to miss the final reveal. Alright, kicking off our list at number 10 is the Stanley Park Seawall in Vancouver, British Columbia. Now, you might be thinking, Bong, a seawall? Is that really a hike? But listen, we had to include this because it's probably the most accessible and iconic walk in the entire country, and the views are absolutely insane for how little effort it takes. This isn't a backcountry trek, it's a massive 10-kilometer paved loop that wraps around one of the world's most famous urban parks. Imagine this. On one side, you have the sparkling Pacific Ocean, giant container ships gliding by, seaplanes taking off. On the other side, lush, ancient rainforest right in the middle of a bustling city. In the distance, the stunning Vancouver skyline and the snow-capped peaks of the coast mountains. We literally walked the entire thing. Every corner a new postcard-perfect view. My team and I spent a whole afternoon here, taking it all in. We saw seals sunbathing on rocks. We passed the totem poles at Brockton Point. We even stopped for ice cream halfway through. Serious workout or a lazy Sunday stroll. You don't always have to climb a massive mountain to get $1 million view. Coming in at number 9, we're staying in Vancouver but cranking the difficulty up to 11. This is the Grouse Grind. This trail has a reputation for a reason. They don't call it Mother Nature's Stairmaster for nothing. It's only 2.5 kilometers long. Sounds super short, right? Wrong. In that short distance, you climb over 800 meters straight up the face of Grouse Mountain. Absolutely brutal, relentless, leg-burning ascent. There are no flat parts, just up, and more up. My heart was pounding just a few minutes in. The trail is basically a giant, rugged staircase of rocks and wooden steps. We saw people of all fitness levels, professional athletes trying to beat their personal best, tourists who had no idea what they were getting into. Signs at the bottom warn, extremely difficult, be in excellent physical condition. They were not kidding. The whole way you're surrounded by dense, beautiful forest. For our number 8 spot, we're heading east to Ontario to hike a piece of Canadian history, the Bruce Trail. This thing is an absolute monster. It's Canada's oldest and longest marked footpath, stretching almost 900 kilometers. That's like walking from New York City to Detroit. It follows the Niagara Escarpment, a massive cliff edge that's a UNESCO World Biosphere Reserve. Obviously, we didn't hike the whole thing because that would take over a month, but that's what makes this trail so cool. The Bruce Trail is broken up into hundreds of smaller sections so you can choose your own adventure. You can do a short, 1-hour day hike to a waterfall, or you can pack a tent and go for a multi-day trek. We decided to explore a section near Hamilton, known as the City of Waterfalls. We hiked through these incredible lush Carolinian forests, and it felt like we were 1,000 miles from any city. The trail is super well maintained by an army of volunteers, which is just amazing. We explored sections that took us along the edge of these massive limestone cliffs with incredible views over the countryside. We even found a few hidden caves and climbed down to the base of Tiffany Falls, one of the many waterfalls right off the trail. The diversity is what blew me away. One minute you're in a peaceful meadow, the next you're navigating a rocky path along a cliff, and then you're suddenly standing in front of a gorgeous waterfall. What makes the Bruce Trail so special is its sheer scale and variety. It offers a lifetime of hiking opportunities. It's a testament to the power of community and conservation, preserving this incredible natural corridor through one of Canada's most populated regions. It's an essential piece of the Canadian hiking landscape, but we've still got 7 more trails to go, and the scenery is about to get even more epic. Alright, at number 7, we're flying all the way to the East Coast, to Nova Scotia, for the legendary Cabot Trail. The Cabot Trail itself is a world-famous driving road that loops around the northern tip of Cape Breton Island. But the real magic happens when you get out of your car and hit the hiking trails inside Cape Breton Highlands National Park. I'm telling you, the coastline here is so dramatic, it looks like something out of a fantasy movie. It's where the mountains literally crash into the Atlantic Ocean. We picked the most famous hike in the park, the Skyline Trail. And wow, did it deliver! It's a relatively easy loop, about 7.5 kilometers, that takes you through the forest and out onto this massive open headland. As you walk along the boardwalk, the view just opens up in front of you. You're standing on top of these huge cliffs, looking down at the winding Cabot Trail Road hundreds of feet below, with the vast blue ocean stretching out to the horizon. We went at sunset, which is what everyone recommends, and it was one of the most incredible sunsets I have ever seen in my life. What's even crazier is the wildlife. While we were standing on the boardwalk, a massive bull moose just casually walked out of the woods not far from us. It was a completely surreal moment. The combination of coastal cliffs, rolling highlands, the chance to see whales or moose makes it an unforgettable experience. For number 6, we are in Newfoundland, at a place that looks like it's from another planet, Morne National Park. This place is a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its insane geology. You can literally walk on the Earth's mantle rocks that were once deep inside the planet are now just sitting on the surface. We came here to explore the trails, and honestly, my mind was blown. The landscape changes so dramatically from fjords carved by glaciers to bizarre, rust-colored barrens. The first thing we did was take a boat tour through Western Brook Pond. And let me tell you, this is not a pond. It's a massive landlocked fjord with sheer cliffs rising hundreds of meters straight out of the water. To get to the boat, you have to hike for about 45 minutes across a coastal bog, which is an adventure in itself. But the hike that truly defines Gros Morne is the trek up Gros Morne Mountain itself. It's a full-day, 16-kilometer loop that is incredibly challenging. You top out on a huge, flat plateau, like walking on Mars, with rock ptarmigan and woodland caribou, and views to the tablelands and the Gulf of St. Lawrence. We've officially cracked the top 5, and for our number 5 spot, we are high in the Canadian Rockies in Jasper National Park. This is the other Skyline Trail, and believe me, it lives up to its name. This isn't a short-day hike. This is a massive 44-kilometer multi-day trek. More than half of it is above the tree line. You're literally walking on the roof of the world for days. It's one of North America's most sought-after alpine hikes. We packed our gear for a 3-day adventure. Logistics are a challenge. Book campsites months in advance, start at one point and end at another, arrange a shuttle. But it's worth it the moment you break through the trees. Endless, sweeping vistas of jagged peaks, glaciers, valleys in every direction. A full 360-degree panorama. The most famous section is the Notch, a steep, intimidating scramble up a rocky headwall. Snow and ice made it sketchy when we did it. My heart was pounding as I pulled myself up the last few feet. Standing at the top, looking back at the trail winding across ridges, indescribable. You feel small and alive. We camped under the stars. woke up to sunrises that lit the peaks pink and orange, saw grizzly bears and mountain goats from a safe distance. Hiking Skyline is full immersion into the Rockies' raw beauty. Chapter 7. Coming in at number 4, we are in the heart of the Canadian Rockies, at the world-famous Lake Louise in Banff National Park. There are dozens of incredible hikes here, but we chose the one that is the absolute quintessential Banff experience, the Plain of 6 Glaciers. A ridiculously turquoise lake, towering snow-covered peaks, and not 1, but 6 glaciers in your face. And the best part? There's a historic tea house at the end of it. The hike starts along the shore of Lake Louise. You have to fight through the crowds at the beginning, but the further you walk, the more the people thin out. The trail slowly climbs up the valley, with the massive Victoria Glacier looming ahead of you. The sound of the wind and the distant cracking of the glacier is all you can hear. After about 5.5 kilometers of steady climbing, you arrive at the Plain of 6 Glaciers tea house. It was built by Swiss guides in 1927, has no electricity or running water. The staff hikes supplies in or fly them at season's start. We sat down with tea and chocolate cake, watching avalanches crash across the valley. Continue 1 more kilometer to a viewpoint surrounded by walls of ice and rock, Lefroy, Victoria, and more feeding an incredible valley. This hike is the total package. We have reached our top 3, and for the bronze medal, we have an absolute legend, the West Coast Trail on Vancouver Island. This is not a hike, it's a pilgrimage. It's a 75-kilometer, multi-day monster of a trek along some of the most rugged and remote coastlines you will ever see. This trail is so intense that you have to attend a mandatory orientation session before you're even allowed to start. They teach you about tides, wildlife safety, and how to use the cable cars to cross rivers. This is the real deal. We spent 6 days on this trail, and it was one of the hardest things I have ever done. You're constantly climbing massive wooden ladders, slogging knee-deep mud, and tiptoeing slick planks. Beach hiking sounds easy, but soft sand and seaweed-covered rocks for hours are exhausting. Every single step is a challenge, but the scenery is what makes it all worth it. You're completely isolated on the wild Pacific coast. We camped on pristine, empty beaches, had campfires under the stars, fell asleep to the waves. We saw sea lions, eagles, and even found whale bones washed up on the shore. One day we waited for the tide to drop to pass a headland and spent hours exploring tide pools like tiny aquariums of starfish and anemones. The sense of accomplishment at the end is unbelievable. You feel like you've survived something truly epic. But believe it or not, there are 2 trails in Canada that are even more epic. All right, the silver medal, our number 2 best hike in all of Canada. It takes us back to the Rockies, to the shadow of the highest peak, Mount Robson. The trail is the Berg Lake Trail. It's a 42-kilometer round trip, through multiple ecological zones, past waterfalls, past rivers. Then you hit the Valley of 1,000 Falls, cascades everywhere. The most impressive is Emperor Falls, a massive, powerful plunge you can walk right up to. The mist soaks you, and it's incredible. The sheer power is humbling. After 2 days, we arrived at Berg Lake, milky blue water filled with icebergs calved from the Berg Glacier, with Mount Robson toweringly shrouded. It stopped me in my tracks. We sat listening to glaciers groan, watching icebergs drift. We camped by the lake. Waking up to that view is unforgettable. The Berg Lake Trail is the ultimate reward for the effort you put in. We camped right near the lake, and the view from our tent was just ridiculous. Waking up and seeing a glacier-fed lake with icebergs floating in it, right outside your door, is something I will never forget. But there is one trail that beats it. And here it is, the number 1 best hike in all of Canada. After trekking across the entire country, from coast to coast, we found it. We are back on the East Coast, in New Brunswick, for the Fundy Footpath. You might be surprised. It's not the highest mountain, it's not the most famous park, But this trail offers something that no other trail on this list can: the highest tides in the world. Most unique, dynamic, powerful. The Fundy Footpath is a brutal 61-kilometer wilderness trail that hugs the coastline of the Bay of Fundy. The bay experiences tides that can rise and fall over 16 meters. That's the height of a 5-story building, twice a day. This completely changes the landscape every 6 hours. Rivers that were impassable torrents at high tide become streams you can easily cross at low tide. Beaches you can walk on disappear underwater. You are literally hiking on a schedule set by the moon. It's incredibly rugged and remote. A constant up and down from sea level into deep forested valleys, back out to clifftop lookouts. We explored sea caves completely submerged at high tide, walked on the ocean floor, and watched the water come racing back. For its unique challenge, raw beauty, and tie to a global natural wonder, the Fundy Footpath is, in my opinion, the #1 best hike in Canada. And that is a wrap. 10 of the most incredible hikes in Canada, from the easiest walks to the most brutal survival challenges. We climbed mountains, crossed glaciers, and walked on the ocean floor. Every single one of these trails was an adventure of a lifetime, but the Fundy Footpath, with those insane tides, was just on another level. Now I want to hear from you. Which trail will you tackle first? Did your favorite hike make the list? Let us know in the comments below. Putting this video together was a massive undertaking, so if you enjoyed this adventure and want to see more insane challenges and countdowns, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video, and turn on notifications. Don't forget to check the description box below. I've pinned a comment with links to trail resources, planning guides, and official park websites for every hike. We couldn't do this without your support, and we appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.